Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Becoming Rich podcast. I am your host, Rachel Monica. We have really gone through a lot of episodes now. I think we're on like episode 16 or something like that. And so I feel like at this point, we've gotten a little closer. This episode might be triggering. I honestly doubt it. Well, if you are like a listener to me, then it won't be triggering because you kind of already have this understanding and awareness. If you are new here, this might be triggering for you. I'm going to try my best to obviously only share my truth and be as respectful as I can because I don't want to make anyone upset by sharing my truth. I think that sometimes is inevitable when you are just sharing your truth. I don't know. It happens, right? When people are just going to have different opinions than you, and that is completely okay. That is literally the point of Earth, is we have duality. Duality exists. So some people have their truth, I have my truth, blah, blah, blah. That's my warning to this episode. Warning. Okay, no. So obviously, I want to talk about this because I did make an episode on my journey of having my spiritual awakening, and I really got into it at that point. And I think my first episode too, I really talked about the way that I view and my understanding of consciousness and spirituality. But with this episode, I really want to talk more about what spirituality is in itself and the misconceptions with being spiritual and spirituality. When you first get introduced to it, it's exciting. It's a whole new world. I was like, oh my God, like all these crystals, like how fun. You learn that each crystal represents something and it has all these properties that, if you have this one crystal that's going to absorb negativity, so it's going to protect you. And then you have your rose quartz, which attracts love, and then you have your citrine, and it attracts abundance. And I have so many crystals, you guys, and all my crystals I got were at the very beginning of being introduced to spirituality. I was like, this is so fun. And then the sage and the incense and singing bowl, I just went off because I loved this new aesthetic of what spirituality was. It was going to these new moon ceremonies, and you're just introduced to a whole new world. And I mean, the thing is, all of those things, they're not exactly all that is spirituality, but they are tools. They're tools that you can use along the way. What spirituality is the self-awareness and the understanding of life itself. It's understanding consciousness. It's understanding the subconscious and conscious mind and how the outside world affects every part of us. It's about understanding the true power that each one of us has. We are not our outside bodies, but we are just the source of love inside. That being inside of us is eternal and exists outside of this human body. But right now we are here living a human experience. So it's really just understanding everything, all that is. And understanding yourself, because understanding everything, you are everything. It's not about the clothes you wear. It's not about the things that you do. It's really just the awareness and understanding. It's heavy. It's dark. It's a lot of diving into your shadow work and understanding why you are the way that you are, your conditioning, the society's conditioning. It's really just questioning a lot of what we learned and grew up with. So it can be really heavy and dark and scary and mind-blowing, but takes a lot of strength. It definitely does. And willingness to dive into those deep parts of you and those deep parts of our world. A lot of people do confuse religion with spirituality. So I want to kind of get into religion, what I've learned about religion, how I view it and understand it. Religion is a structured set of rules and a way of living. And it says you have to live this way. And if you are not, you are wrong. You might go to hell or something like that. But it's just a set of rule books. And while there's things in religion, in all religions, that do help us and do help frame our ways of being that are positive, there are, and you can't really lie, there are negatives in that, because it also makes everyone conform into a one way of living. But there's so many different humans on this planet and so many different personalities and so many different ways of living that aren't set up to the one that was created 4,000 years ago. And that comes with a lot of shame and guilt, because if you want to be authentic to who you are and be who you are, but it goes against what your religion says, then what you're doing, the choices that you're making, you're now holding shame and guilt. And shame and guilt are very low on the vibration, what do you call it? The vibration chart, you know the chart. Maybe I'll put it here on the screen, but there's like a chart that basically shows each vibration and state of being, and guilt and shame is one of the lowest ones on there. And remember, when you're in these negative vibrations, the more that you are in those, first of all, obviously the more you're going to just feel like shit, but you're going to attract more of those things. If you want to attract and have an abundant life, you need to get higher on the scale of vibrations. And one of the top, the top one I think is, I heard now it's authenticity, but I thought it was love. Maybe it's not love. I need to go back and look at the chart. Joy. I think the first one is joy. Religion usually takes your power and puts it outside of you. So you're now looking at a savior, a leader, a text, a higher authority that is making all your decisions for you. And you can just throw all your responsibilities, all your problems onto this person that's going to save you. And I think that's why a lot of people go into religion. A lot of times it's when they're at their lowest points of their life. Something has happened, maybe there's been a tragedy in the family, and you are often brought into the world of religion where you're able to take all your responsibilities, all your problems, and just give it up to God, that a man is going to come and save you from these problems. You're taking away your own growth, your own choices. You're just leaving it up to someone else, because someone out there is going to make all these things better. And I've seen this happen with good things too, where you have blessings and miracles that happen in your life. And it's because of this higher power. It's because of this individual. It's because of him. He gave this life to you. He did this for you. He did that. And I understand, like, I can see how that can be viewed as positive, because again, religion is literally just spirituality, just a little contorted, taking away the responsibility of like your own choices and the blessings that you brought into your life by your choices. And personally, I don't like that. Like, I don't like that, like, to put it all into, and God's hands, and that I had no free will, basically. And like the relationships I have, everything I have is just like because of this other person outside of me. Like, no, it was me. The work I put into myself, the person I am today, is because of the work that I've put into myself. The relationships that I'm able to attract, the experiences I'm able to attract, are because of the work that I have put into myself. The understanding, the learning, everything that I have built is now reflective in my life and my reality from me. Remember, religion comes from spiritual truth. It's just the message that's been contorted. That God that has given us life, that has given us these miracles, these experiences, these relationships, all that God is pure love. That same pure love is inside each one of us. That pure love is just consciousness. What religion doesn't make clear, which was Jesus's message, is that we are all one, that we come from source, the source that lives within us, and we are all the same. Like when I say I trust in the universe, technically I'm talking about myself. I trust in me because I am the universe. But our brains do need to see some sort of division in order for us to understand. Like I can say, yes, I am every single person that is here. I'm literally, this is going to trip me out, but I am perceiving that there are all of these different humans living out their experiences, but really I'm the only one that is here. I'm literally by myself, speaking to myself. Me speaking on camera is me speaking to myself. It's myself in other bodies. We are all the same. You listening to me is you listening to yourself in another body. But I can't perceive you. I can't perceive you coming from your body. I can only perceive you from my body. I can only perceive life, earth, from my body, from Rachel's perspective. We came here to experience life from billions of different perspectives. Our brain needs to divide us because if not, how are we going to be able to live our own individual lives? If my soul was born into your body with your personality that was created because of the planets that were aligned in the specific location that you were born, given the parents that you were given the body that also carries the genetic makeup of your history, of your ancestors. So you are who you are because of your past lives. You are the way that you are because of your experiences, your society, your culture. You are so unique into being who you are. But if my soul, my source of love was in your body with all of those things, I would be you. I would be making the choices that you make. That's why when we judge other people for making certain decisions and making certain choices in their life, we're judging ourselves because that is us in another body living their life the way that they were made to live their life. And you would be doing the same thing. So I have no place to be judging anyone for even just this conversation in itself of having the understanding of religion and being religious. I would be too if I had your experiences. And if you were me living in my body, you would be and have my outlooks because you would be me because we are each other. I can go on and on. But see how when we're born and we have all of these boxes, it feeds into this illusion of all of these differences that we have. You are this religion, that they are that religion. You're blue, you're red, you're left, you're right, you're gay, you're straight, you're trans. Like we put ourselves in all these little boxes of like, this is who you are. But that's all illusion. It's all illusion. And a part of me is also like starting to understand too that sexuality, I also think, is, and again, just like something that society has taught us. I believe that we actually just love who we love and we have sexual preferences. But if there were no rules and we were not taught anything, I think that everyone would just be experimenting and experiencing every different sex for fun. And then they would end up being with the person that they love. I don't think that there would be these like hard, rigid boxes of like, no, you are born in this sex. That means you need to be with this sex. I think we would just be like experiencing life and not worrying about it. Anyway, sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Okay, let's go back to what I was talking about. I was talking about oneness, okay? So obviously you understand our reality and how there's so much division and there's so many boxes and there's so many differences in ourselves. But it's all illusion. It is all illusion. We are oneness, okay? If you do any kind of psychedelic, that's what will come to you. That's the remembrance that you will remember, is that we are all connected. You are connected to nature. You are connected to the stars. You are connected to every single being here. And Jesus, my guy, has said these things in scripture. He has said, I and the Father are one. The kingdom is within you. This man has been praying for people to awaken to our oneness. He wasn't trying to say, I'm special and different from you. He was trying to get people to understand that we are all one. The kingdom being within you, because in religion, you see heaven and hell as two separate places. Like you have earth and then you have heaven and then you have hell. It doesn't exist like that. It's all here. It's all now. The kingdom being within you, heaven is within you. Everything that you see outside of you is within you. It is all you. So the reality that we live in now, this is just space, but it all exists here now in different dimensions. Time doesn't exist. Time is just something that we can perceive here on earth, and it's here so that we can understand and grasp certain things. Like when we're living here on earth, you can create heaven on earth or you can create a hell on earth. Both exist here now. You guys see what's happening in the world. There is a lot of hell going on in this world. This is like the lowest vibration, the most dense planet. With spirituality, it's not a belief system. It's not someone coming to save you. It is you having to take responsibility for yourself. It's the self-awareness, and all of that takes a lot of mental strength. You can't bypass it. And your truth is your truth. It's not about conformity. It's about being authentically to who you are, who you say you are. And with that comes a lot of erasing. You're erasing the version of you that you thought you were. You're erasing who people told you you had to be. Spirituality isn't a new belief system. It's not a fad. When they call it new age, they're trying to dismiss it and minimize it by acting like it's this brand new thing that like it's just coming around and it's trendy and it's just cool. But it's ancient wisdom. It's not new. Religion is only 4,000. Hinduism is the oldest religion, which is 4,000 years. Christianity is 2,000 years old, and Islam is 1,400 years old. Whereas spirituality, this ancient wisdom, has been around for 40,000 plus years. It's before the churches, the mosques. It's been around when people would go outside and they would be under the stars. They would be under the moon. They would be with nature, doing breath work, with sound, with ceremonies. In a time where we honored the sun, the moon cycles, the seasons, and how all of it was connected with us. Again, when I was telling you about spirituality is your understanding of consciousness and the connection with all of us, with oneness. This understanding of new age spirituality, it's not new. It's old wisdom that's been modernized, and it's us remembering. It's us remembering our roots. It's remembering where we came from. It's us remembering our practices that we've been doing for years and years and years, since the beginning of literal time. So remember, spirituality started 40,000 years ago. I explained everything that it is, and then religion was then created. So Jesus would have been spreading, and I don't know the other names of the gods. I'm sorry, but I just know more about. I grew up being Catholic. Jesus, he would have been a a woo-woo woke individual, and his message was contorted, and a whole religion was created out of it for control. So I do like learning, and I want to do more learning on all religions, because all of these religions actually have truth in them. It's just unfortunate that man stuck their hands in it and contorted it. The reality of being spiritual and being on this spiritual path, and I was going on and on about like how it's so dark and it's difficult. It's because you have to be self-aware, and you have to be self-aware of your patterns and your identities that you've like clung on to for so long. And if you don't want to live a certain way and you don't want to be that version of you anymore. You have to face the reality of who you've been and where it comes from in order to release it and allow yourself to be more authentically to who you are. But the thing is like, spirituality isn't about perfectionism. It's about working to being the best version of yourself for yourself and for all the people around you. You're working at that, but that doesn't mean that you are going to be the nice guy, especially to every person that lives on this planet. There's reasons why you're not going to get along with every single person on this planet. You're not meant to. You're going to trigger a lot of individuals. Let's say you're like a really, like, if God was here, if Jesus was here, people would hate him. People would hate him. Okay, he'd be deported. He'd be deported back to Palestine. And look at what would be happening to him in Palestine. Okay, I see where my mind wants to like bring the conversation. And again, we're focusing on the positive. So where was I? Being spiritual doesn't mean that you're going to be liked by everyone. You aren't, especially when you start creating boundaries, when you start putting yourself as number one. You are number one. You are number one. You are only here for yourself. And so when you start creating boundaries, I don't want to be around people that are going to make me feel this way. I respect myself so much that I don't want to be in this certain situation. I don't want to numb anymore. I don't want to pretend. I don't want to play nice. I used to always play nice. I was a people pleaser. I was a huge people pleaser. And then I started saying, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to be around these people. So I look like a mean guy, but it is what it is. That's what I choose, that I want to do. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. And I think that that's a huge misconception that comes with spirituality, that people would throw back at me like, I thought you were spiritual, or like, I thought that you were like all about like good energy. And it's like, yeah, obviously I am about good energy, but spirituality is not just positive love and light and like kisses to everyone. It's a journey, first of all. So I am still a human being with issues and problems that I've had in my past that I'm bringing on the surface, and I'm healing and I'm clearing, and I have the self-awareness of it. But that doesn't mean that me having the self-awareness, people having self-awareness doesn't always mean that you are not going to be living in those patterns that you're aware of. You might still subconsciously be choosing to stay in certain patterns because your brain believes that there is a hidden advantage and belief into having those patterns, but you're not just going to change like this just because of the awareness of it. It's a journey. And to be honest, there's parts of me that I might still want to be, but that's me here now in my journey. And when I say that, I mean, if I want to share my truth and I want to be authentically into who I am today, that means I'm going to say what I want to say. And sometimes I don't really care, to be honest. I don't really care. Is that a unhealed version of me? Maybe. But me being authentically who I am means I am going to be passionate and maybe aggressive in other people's eyes. And I don't care. I don't care. I'm not claiming to be perfect, and I will never be perfect. But that's just what it is. Like, I don't know. I hate that like spirituality is like looked at as like, because, you're like, and you go and you hold hands and you think it's all like kumbaya. It is not kumbaya. And I don't care to be kumbaya. It could be negative perceived by other people if it's not going in the direction that they would want it to. But that's just the reality of things. Our world, you have all spectrum of emotions. And so you're going to experience all of them. Life isn't going to be all peaches and roses all the time. It is, if that's what your perception of it is, then yes, technically actually it is, because even when it's negative, it still is peaches and roses because of your perception of it. So when something negative happens, it actually isn't a negative experience because you could be perceiving it as something that is there to teach you something. It is there as a lesson for you. So it kind of is peaches and roses. Oh my God, I feel like I just like have a point and then I just like go off on tangents and like I don't even know where the hell the point is. Anyways, yeah, it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of power. You're saying that you are your savior. You are responsible. You are the one who's going to come here and is going to give you the life that you know you're deserving of. This journey, it will break you, but it'll break you and you'll have the tools, you will have support. If you get into this world, I promise you, you have support. There are people that are just like me, that are just like you, that are here to help you, to guide you. There's you can go, like I used to go to Reiki. I used to do an hour Reiki with talk therapy sessions. Mwah. Helped me so much. But there's people in our community to help you through this path so that you can take all of those broken pieces that you end up breaking up, you can view it all out on the table, and then you can work to put yourself together in the way that you want yourself to be. Like I view it as like you have this like consistent pattern of like who you are. You have to break it in order to create a new pattern. You know what I mean? So that's difficult, but it's worth it. It is so worth it. But because it's so difficult, that's why it's just not for everybody. That's why, outsourcing feels like the easier thing to do, because you just kind of go to a place and you just wait for someone else to do the work for you. The reality is like you're a co-creator. You're a co-creator with God, with Source. It is both of you on earth and you up there, your higher self, helping you and directing you. So when I pray and I pray to God, I kind of call on they're different labels of all the same things. So I'll say like higher self, I'll say the universe, God, angels, my guides. I call all of them in. But technically, we're all just coming from the same thing. We're all just like one. So technically, you could just say call in one person. But they're all like individualized. I don't know if like maybe watch this episode when you're microdose, do a little microdose or a little macrodose. I don't know, whatever is your flavor. Or if you want to garden, you can also do a little gardening sesh. It's so funny because I feel like sometimes I say things that are out there and people are like, are you high? I literally had that recently. And I said something that was like I didn't say anything crazy. I was in a situation where like someone messaged me the same time that something happened and I can see the connection between the two. And I was like, oh my God, the synchronicity. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. This and that. They were like, are you high? You think that you have to be high in order to see connection between things? Damn, like I literally must, like when I talk, people must think I'm like constantly high. Honestly, I am constantly high off life. Anyways, the purpose of life is to remember who you are. It's not about winning or losing. It's about learning. It's about being given these experiences, these situations, these circumstances, and asking yourself, what am I learning from it? What is it showing me about myself? What does it show me about myself when I react? And questioning yourself. And all of that is allowing you the opportunity to grow as an individual. Every single thing in this human world is an educational tool. Every heartbreak, every loss, every win, every joy, every failure, it's all here to help you, to guide you, to help you remember and to reclaim your power. So yeah, that's what spirituality is. It is the awareness. It is connection to oneness. There's no rules. There's no perfection. There's definitely no perfection. It's just remembering. To its core, it's just remembering. Anywho, loved this episode. Loved this chat. This is like my favorite. It's so funny. Like when I do talk about these things, sometimes I actually do feel a little bit high. Like I have the plant here and I'm like looking at it and the more joy I feel, the higher I feel. But when I say high, like high to me, it's like the feeling that I feel when I microdose, which is literally just like a higher state of consciousness. So when I have these conversations, I can literally feel myself be in a higher state of consciousness. Damn, that's crazy. Anyways, okay. Love this chat. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. You can rate my episode or rate my podcast on Spotify or Apple. That would make me so happy because I love doing this. I love sitting here and having these conversations so much. So yeah, okay. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.